At you from the AOTA 2015 conference live in Tennessee. Woo doggy!
Take me back where my heart lies. These sore remains are mine. Lady Fortune spared your neck before she strangled mine. Get me back to my old life that flashed by my old eyes, then crashed and burned out of sight. Take me back to my own time. This world of yours ain't mine. Hell just hanging by a threading what I had in mind. Get me back in my own right that flashed by my own eyes.
MOHO. MOHO.
MOHO.
MOHO.
The model human occupation.
MOHO.
We are the MOHO girls.
MOHO.
MOHO.
The way that I like to use MOHO in my everyday life is keeping myself doing things that are important to me.
MOHO.
With MOHO.
MOHO.
And MOHO.
MOHO has been the theoretical framework that I find most compelling.
MOHO. MOHO.
And how I live the model human occupation is through educating my students about the model. It's an amazing model, and I love when I'm teaching them watching the lights go off, because they finally get it and they understand how we are looking at things from a comprehensive perspective. We're looking at performance, we're looking at habituation, we're looking at volition, and how all of these things come together in an interactive interplay to make people's lives meaningful, and how we can't just work on increasing range of motion in and of itself. You have to look at what are the person's roles, what are their habits, what occupations are meaningful for them to be engaged in. And I always kind of joke with my students that clients don't get discharged when they can stack a stack of 10 cones, that's really not meaningful. And so we need to be engaging students and their patients in meaningful occupation. And so that's how I live the model of human occupation, through educating my students about the model.
Some volition. They're volitionists. The volition.
And MOHO is a great part of my practice. A lot of times people don't think about MOHO in a physical disability setting, but I can tell you it works. It's one of the best theories, and has helped me achieve a lot of goals with my clients. It is the one theory that lets me look at occupational engagement. Most of the time we're looking at occupational performance, but with this engagement I can really measure and see what's going on after the patient has gotten treatment and gone home. So it's really, really great. How it's changed my entire practice, I can say, is I walk through these hallways now and see all these gimmicks, and realize after I learned my MOHO and learned the theory that these gimmicks really have no meaning to me or the patient anymore, that I need to really focus in on what the patient has, wants to do, versus some kind of gadget that I can put on their hand or on their back, or some kind of bubble machine to make them feel better. So MOHO has really changed my practice a lot.
Volition and
Self-efficacy.
Hi, my name's Kristen Craig, and I use MOHO with a little boy that I work with. He has autism, and being able to use MOHO to understand what's important to him, that way we can use it therapeutically, is the best thing, and it's really worked wonders with him. So that's how I use MOHO.
my habituation.
Their habits, their roles, their routines.
Habits or routines.
Habituation.
The habits.
Roles and habits that you do in your everyday life.
Their habits.
For me, giving MOHO to my students is really important, because I think it really helps them understand occupation, especially when you think about motivation for occupation. What is it that gives people that spark? And that's the piece that's missing from any other occupation-based models, in my opinion. So when students get that part, then they see how habituation and performance capacity and the environment flow from that. So that to me is one of the biggest things, and why I'm so interested and passionate about understanding volition, both my own, my students, and the people I work with. So
Performance capacity.
and performance capacity and
positive environment. And the environment.
The environment.
the environment.
Just seeing the impact that OT has around the country has been so amazing. We're so thankful to be here at conference and be able to see how other practitioners around the world can really inspire and motivate students and each other to impact other people's lives. And I think that's a perfect example of how MOHO can, impact every single individual just through personal interaction and, positive environments.
Older adults, and MOHO is one of those models that students can use throughout the developmental lifespan and relate whether it's a child, an adult, or an older adult. It makes sense to them, so it sticks with them, and I think that's really functional and useful when they go off to their level 1 and level 2 clinical experience and then beyond.
Absolutely.
So we fully support MOHO and the use of MOHO.
Definitely love MOHO.
Spalding
University
loves
MOHO.
The one thing we say is when you don't know, use MOHO.
And what I wanted to tell you is how MOHO changed my life. I used to be an OT when I was young, and then I abandoned the profession for almost 10 years. I was doing different things, and actually I never thought that I would go back to OT. I wasn't very happy the way it was practiced then, where I practiced in Argentina, until a friend of mine talked to me about MOHO. And I went to Chile to train to Carmen Gloria de las Heras. And I just fell right on in love with MOHO and back in love with the OT profession. And this is moving me, it's really moving. But that's how I decided that I wanted to be an OT again. This happened almost 20 years ago. I'm still practicing in a very different place. Well, I would have to say that first I went to UIC to train with Dr. Kilhoffner, which was very inspiring and empowering. And I'm still practicing now in a different place. Now I am in Spain, where I practice with children. Very happy to be a pediatric OT. I use mostly the sensory integration frame of reference, and I also a DIR practitioner. But MOHO is always there, encompassing my intervention and keeping me grounded in occupation. So I'm very grateful to MOHO, to Dr. Gary, and to all of you guys. Thank you.
So we're still believers 30 plus years later and continue to spread the word to a new generation of students that MOHO is the way to go. Yep.
That's MOHO for you in everyday life.